Toodles, toodle, toodle.
To work. You're bumping your head on that again.
Hey,
You're going to learn the hard way sooner or
the
later.
bells of St. Mary's. St. Mary's and St. Hell.
Okay.
How are you doing today, guy?
Good.
I've got one of these shirts. Did you and I go to the same party? Wait a minute, that's probably my shirt.
No, it's my shirt.
I give you the. You're by the communist explaining communism to a guy,
No.
and the guy says, "Wait a minute, let me get this straight. You're a communist. So if you had 2 cars, you give me one." The guy says, "Yeah." Says if you had 2 houses, you give me one. He says, "Yeah." He says if you had 2 shirts, you give me one. He says, "No." He says, "Why not?" He says, "'Cause I got 2 shirts." Oh. That's a sociological joke. Perhaps over your head. What are you going to make for me today?
Well,
Something that
we're
puts
going to
a
spend
bowl
a few.
of tomatoes.
We're going to do a little political journey by
political
way
journey.
of meatballs. We're going to Sweden for Swedish meatballs.
Oh, that hey.
Norway for Norwegian meatballs.
Well, they got to be the same.
No.
Norwegians,
Different
Swedes.
spices, different combinations.
They have no
different
spices
sauces.
in Norway and Sweden. They got elk.
And then we're
Red
going
caribou.
to then we'll go to the Far East for
Cross-country
sweet and
skiing.
sour meatballs.
Oh, so I would guess then the basis of the show would be meatballs.
The meatballs, basically ground beef, lean brown.
We'll be
Hamburger.
back in just a moment. Say, I already got my apron, so we'll
yeah.
come back and make aprons.
Come, you got your apron on this time. This is called a long flat red.
I went out with her, I believe.
Food Fairs, 2 grumpy guys in the kitchen, brought to you by Food Fair. Expect the best from Food Fair. And by Done Right Foods, the finest label for your table.
I wish you wouldn't keep stepping in front of me. You're always complaining to me.
My cutting board's right here.
I know, I understand that, but you don't have to go to it right away.
Yes,
See,
I do.
I'm standing here, and the next thing, you're pushing me over.
Absolutely.
And then you keep saying, get off me, get away from me. I understand we're doing a culinary cook's tour, so to speak.
Absolutely.
The
Meatballs. Now, a lot of people
Tour de
don't-
Meatball, it's called in France. It's not a very well-known bike race.
Actually, meatballs.
A Tour de Meatball.
There are.
I don't know why that makes
You've gone to
sense.
socials. You've got to dances with the meatballs.
I have. Why, are you asking?
With the pierogies and the jalapeno and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah,
Ukrainian meatballs.
Yeah.
And they take very much pride in how small they get and how tight they are. You know, so
What, the
when
Ukrainians
you're
or the meatballs? Please,
I'm
get
not
your
get-
subject in front
I
of your
am not
predicate.
getting in
I have no
trouble
idea
there.
what you're talking about.
There's no
half
way
the
I'm
time.
getting in trouble. There.
Oh,
Okay.
a platter of meatball.
Yes.
Well, how long is this show going to last? You've already made them.
It's going to last.
Did
long
you not
time.
think
no,
of that?
No, the sauces are going to take the time. Now, with a meatball, I'll give you a little idea here. First
Okay.
of all. Okay. Now that's a nice packed meatball.
That's a spicy
And
meatball.
you roll them like that. You put a little water in your hands. If you
Yeah,
want.
okay.
And you roll them, and as
What's
you roll
in
them-
there?
Well, let's see. These are going to be
He forgot.
Swedish.
The Swedish
Yes.
meatball.
Okay, got allspice,
Yeah.
and we got sweet and sours as well.
What did you say? Have you got what?
This is the sweet and sour.
Yeah. You said Old Spice. You're not going to put
Allspice,
shaving lotion.
no, allspice, ground
allspice.
pepper, salt.
Thought
We've
you
got
said
some
old-
breadcrumbs in there,
Uh-huh.
and we've got the ground beef, of course.
You
lean
see,
ground beef.
you and I may be working at cross
garlic
purposes
cloves.
because I thought the basis of the show was for you to make stuff and put a recipe out so that people could tell what was in it. And you just hold up a meatball and says it's got stuff in it.
How much does it take to put all of that into ground beef and roll it with your hands?
I don't know, Lee. How
I
much
could
does
get
it?
you doing that. It'd take a half an hour just to roll a few of these things.
How long did it take you?
And there'll be a few babas out there that'll say you don't know how to do that. So if you wet them, you roll them.
All right. So what's in there? Allspice.
Well,
Okay.
no, see, these are sweet and sours.
Oh, I thought these were the
And we got
Swedish.
Swedish. Well,
Well,
I'll start cooking them in a minute.
Yeah, okay.
In the
Well,
meantime,
while we
I wanna
sort
I
out,
want to get into the sauce first.
I want to get you out of my way. We'll be back.
Right.
Lee's Leftovers presented by Done Right Foods, the finest label for your table.
I got to get to work here.
No need to threaten me. Have you decided what you're doing
Yes,
first?
we're doing sweet and sour first.
Sweet and sour
So we're
meatballs.
going to put the tomatoes in there. 2 28-ounce cans.
2 28-ounce cans of
Yep.
tomatoes.
2 28-ounce
That would
cans
make
of tomatoes.
56 ounces.
Okay, and then we'll take some garlic.
You didn't mash it.
I'm taking the ends off first.
Oh. Well, okay. I don't ordinarily see you do that.
Well, I thought.
So this is, would this
something
be an Asian dish then, the sweet and sour? Sort of like what you would get in a Chinese restaurant, for instance?
Probably.
I beg pardon?
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah, everybody has their own flavors and tastes and things like that. But sweet and sour combination of brown sugar and the vinegar.
Carry on. That's it?
Well, no, I haven't finished yet.
Brown sugar and vinegar. End of that story.
Well,
Perhaps we could move on to something else
And
then.
a hamburger, of course, with your meatballs, and then you got your spices that go in with it.
Yeah, well, you see, that's the theory of the show. You are to explain what spices
Well, I
go
put
in.
in. Well, if you'll follow,
I'm trying. I'm doing my
All right.
best. What do you got there?
I got consomme. This is about
Consomme.
Yeah. It's about 10. I need a little more water than that.
You're never happy with anything, are you?
Yeah.
See,
So I'm going to
that's
give
your
that.
whole problem.
Yeah,
buddy.
that's about right.
Well, it's not your whole problem.
Yeah.
It's one of your problems. You're just not happy with
Oh,
things.
be quiet. And then on top of that, the brown sugar. We're going to use, first of all, two 28-ounce cans of Italian tomatoes.
You said that already. 56 ounces. I added it up.
And about 14-ounce can of consomme.
You
saw
didn't
me
say
put
that.
in
You
there.
just threw in some consomme.
And then the brown sugar.
How much brown sugar?
Okay, we're going to need, let's see, just to make sure. I want to make sure I got the right thing.
Okay.
Half a cup.
We'll have the recipe at the end of the show. That will clear it up for Lee.
Half a cup. Isn't that
Yeah.
cute?
Oh, is that ever neat?
Yeah.
Look, are you sure that's brown sugar?
That's brown sugar. And now,
Well, it looks
here,
like
stir it. Well,
Hey,
you stir
it
it,
looks
I'll
like
put.
somebody's been out on the beach for
You
a
stir it,
while.
okay? Now we're going to put onions in there. Ask how many onions. I'm put a cup.
Okay. Onions, chopped up
Chopped
onions.
yes.
Da, da,
And a
da,
little
da.
bit of.
Da, da, da.
But
Is this
see,
thing on?
Basically, the
This thing
allspice-
isn't on.
What
You
are
got to
doing?
turn it on.
No,
you.
it's got to go in the oven.
Oh. Oh, you're not heating it on the stove.
No.
You're just mixing it up.
I'm mixing it up fast.
And then you're going to put it in the oven?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you're the boss. Well, no,
Lemon
you're not
juice.
the boss, but you do the cooking.
I'm going to put a tablespoon of lemon juice in there.
You see? Now, you were complaining to me about how mussy my apron is, and it's because of you doing that. You squirt stuff all over
I'm
me.
having a lot of fun.
You never have a moment's consideration for anyone
pepper.
else, do you? Hey? It's
Sure.
always me with you. Okay. Da, 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 da.
Put a teaspoon of allspice in there.
Are you sure Martha Stewart started like this?
Absolutely.
What was that?
That's allspice.
Oh, that's all
Okay,
spice.
now that's basically what I'm going to do. Okay.
I wonder if you can make an aftershave out
Now
of
with
that.
these meatballs,
Yes.
you have to drop them in. Now get that spoon out of there.
A bit. Get the spoon out of there?
Yeah.
How can I
Did-
stir
did
it
you mix
without a
it?
spoon?
Now we're just going to kind of. What did you did that? Already.
I just wanted to annoy you.
And you succeeded beyond your wildest imagination.
Perhaps we can explain, if we can get a close-up, this thing's got a thermometer on it, this ladle,
Yeah.
at the end, right?
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Well, you put it in a pot and it
Where do you
registers the
stick
heat.
that to make it work?
Here, put this away instead of.
Oh, pardon me. Because I will have a suggestion at the end of the show.
I'll bet
If
you
you
will.
get my drift.
I've got a suggestion. Put that in the oven.
Put what in the oven?
The pot.
That whole thing?
Yeah.
It's hot in there.
Good. That's supposed to be hot in there. Get it started anyway, okay? And
Yeah.
I've got another couple of sauces to go here yet.
Hey, now, wait a
and I
minute.
am speeding along very carefully.
Yeah, I
Page
see what
2.
you're doing. You know what you did?
What did I do?
You left a rack in there,
And you can't get it
so
in.
I can't get the
Well, that gets you
the
off my
pot
back
in
for
there.
a while.
So I got to take the rack out.
Okay, the second thing we're going to do
Wait a minute.
is
I'll just lower it.
Swedish meatballs. Now, we've just done the sweet and sour. We're now going to do the Swedish meatballs. All right?
So that's
Does that
it.
make sense to you?
No, I didn't hear what you
These
said.
are already been cooked ahead of time. Debbie
Whoa.
has already got that all prepared
Whoa.
for us.
How long does that have
Let's
to be
make
in the
this
oven?
sauce.
I'm
Let's
asking
get
you a question here. How long does that have to stay in the oven?
about 40 minutes to an hour. You know, till it all
40
blends,
minutes to
till the
Tuesday.
brown sugar and everything starts to get together. Now we're
Okay.
putting ground chuck in there and ground pork in here.
Well, what
it-
temperature, first of all, here? You
About
got it around
Put it on
450.
about 400 right now.
You want it at 400?
Yeah, leave it
I
at
can do that.
So we've got the eggs, we've got the breadcrumbs, we've got the ground pork, and we've got the ground chuck in here,
Whoop.
and some onions. And now we're going to make the sauce. Okay? Are you ready for this?
I'm still trying to get 400.
Good.
There we go, 400.
Dijon mustard.
Now
We're
then,
gonna
what are
need
you doing here?
Half a cup of Dijon mustard.
Okay, what are these meatballs?
These are from
I
Sweden.
say, what are these meatballs?
Swedish. Oh, we're having fun today, aren't we? Okay, Dijon
Shall we tell a
mustard.
couple of oldie jokes?
Sure. Cider vinegar, 3 tablespoons.
Oldie passes away. his widow has to put a notice in the paper, an obituary.
Yeah. What am I doing?
So she asked the newspaper how much. They said $5 a word, minimum of 5 words.
Store that.
So she puts a note in the paper. Only died, Buick for sale. What am I doing here?
You're mixing it.
What's in here?
Dijon mustard.
And what else?
We got a half a cup of that. We got 3 tablespoons of cider vinegar.
Cider vinegar.
And then
Now, do you want to heat this? Because this still is. Oh, yeah, you did put it on. It is on.
Put,
Okay.
3 tablespoons of oil in there as well. 1,
Now, this isn't a very big
2,
spoon to
3.
be stirring with.
No.
Okay, this is for Swedish meatballs. Okay, so you got sweet and sour in the oven, and we're doing Swedish now.
Yeah.
I didn't know Swedes had Dijon
You're
mustard.
getting a nice blend in there. Keep
Sounds
working
pretty
on it. Keep
classy.
working. Have you got that up to
And a
heat?
long way away.
That up to heat? Yep.
I didn't turn it on. It's you that turned it on.
All right, I'll tell you
So
what.
why would you ask, do I have it up
In a
there?
minute, we're going to put this in with that.
Oh, that makes sense.
And
I say, that makes sense.
we'll be back
Okay.
after this message. That makes sense.
Lee's Leftovers, presented by Done Right Foods, a supplier of portion control poultry since 1945. You're watching Food Fair's 2 grumpy guys in the kitchen. Brought to you in part by Food Fair. Expect the best from Food Fair.
On the menu tonight, meatballs.
Okay, sweet and sour in the oven.
Right?
And
I'm doing
you serve
the-
that with a little bit of rice if you want.
Yep. I'm doing the Swedish here.
actually,
Some
I like-
people put the rice in the meatballs, I know, and
They're
they're
porcupine
called
balls.
porcupine.
I knew that.
Well, why didn't you say?
Well, just
I
wait
said
for
it first.
Okay, anyway.
All right.
So we've got the Dijon mustard
Thought
in
of
there.
another Swedish.
And this is for Swede.
Okay.
Now we're going to put a little consommé in there.
Just for.
You stir. You keep stirring.
Okay.
Do not stop stirring. I'm going to put a little cream in there.
What? Just before Ole died, he's lying in bed, passing away. It's a very gentle occasion. And his wife, Olga, Are Swedish ladies named Olga? Well, anyway, I don't speak much Swedish.
Olga?
Just enough
That's
to
a
get my
Slavic
face
name.
slapped. All right,
Just-
so he married a Slavic lady. So anyway, she goes downstairs, and she's baking cookies, and he can smell them up in the bedroom. So he goes like this, rolls out of bed, falls on the floor, crawls across the floor, crawls downstairs into the kitchen, goes over to the table where she's got the cookies, reaches up one hand, and she goes, "Holy, those are for the funeral." Is that stupid or what?
Well, you're having a good time.
Yeah.
How's that coming along?
How do I know? What's it supposed to do?
It's supposed to pick it up a little bit.
Supposed to pick what up?
Well, let's heat it up a little more.
Okay,
Just
we'll
turn
heat
the
her up a little more then.
Okay, now what we've
Oh, you're
got-
gonna put
I've
these
added
in
a
there.
little allspice in there for that little bit of Swedish flavor.
Yeah.
And then I put in some little cream. I like
saw
cream
that.
in my
Coffee.
in my meatballs.
Oh. You're the cream
now
of my
they-
meatballs.
Okay, are they-
I'm the sugar in your stew. You will always be everything to me. I'm just wild about you. Remember that song? Yeah. Did you tell people about that thermometer ladle?
Yes, I did. But these meatballs are ready. Okay.
Are they ready?
Yeah. Get this ladle out of there. Actually, I would like that a little thicker, but we'll let them thicken up as we go.
Well, do that under high
Yeah,
heat.
Put it on high heat.
Okay.
All right.
You want me to stir them around or just get out of your
No,
way?
because you don't want to break them up.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You're a little testy tonight, aren't you?
Yeah.
Got up on the wrong side of the bed again? See? Lee got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, and that put him out in the driveway at 6 a.m. nude. Put him into a bad frame of mind. That's a terrible thing to think about, isn't it? Tell him about the time you bought the... Oh, you did tell him about the time. Remember the time you were fixing your house in Sanford? And you're
Oh, that one.
up on the ladder?
Yeah.
Tell him about that.
Well, I was trying to put, under the eaves trough, they have these.
Eaves.
No. You have to put little plates in there. I don't know what's called.
Okay.
I am not a carpenter. So I was underneath there, and
Hey,
I
hey.
thought,
If you were a carpenter, would you have my baby?
So anyway,
song.
I thought if I fall off this roof, it's 35 feet high.
Yeah, you're liable to
so
hurt
I put
yourself.
a rope around my waist.
Wait.
And I tied it against the chimney. And I suspended myself over the edge of the house. And a squirrel flies out. And I released my hands. And I'm sitting there like this with the rope under my hair. And I was there for 10 minutes.
What did your neighbor do?
My neighbor was watching out the window. He was laughing so hard. He was a Hong Kong vet, and he said it was the best laddie if he ever had.
Now, please, ladies and
that's
gentlemen,
done.
the next time we meet you in person, and you say to us, you two guys aren't grumpy enough, now you know why I can't be grumpy. How can you be grumpy
You're
with
in my
this
way
guy?
again.
Hey?
I got to get this heated up here.
Get what heated up?
Well, I want to heat up.
What do we got here?
We're making Norwegian balls now. Meatballs.
Norwegian meatballs.
Yes.
What did you put in there?
Beef consomme.
More consomme.
Yes.
This is bubbling away here.
Well, we'll turn it down a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, down to about there.
All right.
So you know what happens? That'll all absorb the wonderful flavors. Okay. Okay. Now we got to get this on the boil,
Okay.
and we're going to mix a little cornstarch.
Are we?
Yes, we are. Now, in
With
order
what?
to do that,
With water?
yeah, I think we put a little water.
What's the difference between cornstarch and
in flour.
anything else? Yeah. Yeah, flour, for
Well,
instance.
I'll tell you, if you don't want lumpy gravy, this is perfect to do it kind of cold, and it does
yeah.
it sort of really battens up the hatches. It's really stiffens up there.
That's a cooking term you don't often hear.
Battens up the
Battens up
hatches.
the hatches.
Well, unless you are on a ship.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm doing my best to be grumpy, but God, you're funny.
I know.
It's not boiling
Okay,
yet.
have you got my? Let's put that cornstarch in there.
Have I got your what?
The little whiskers. There's the whisker.
Yeah, it's right under here.
Here.
What do you want me
I
to
want
do?
you to stir that gently. Do not stop stirring, because then it'll just turn into one massive.
Can I do a Johnny Nash song? Which song would I do? Huh?
Stir it up.
Very good.
Hey.
Steer it up, actually. Is the way
Is it
you-
stir it up?
You know where he comes from, Johnny Nash?
Jamaica.
Texas.
Oh, Texas.
Yeah. Steer it up.
All those things.
Da, 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 da.
Now we got more meatballs.
Remember we were in the Caribbean?
Yes,
What were we doing there?
on a cruise.
Oh,
We
yeah.
were directors of the cruise.
I was playing Caribbean stud poker. You ever go on a cruise, play Caribbean stud poker? You cannot lose at that game. I don't know anything about poker. I don't know anything about studs. But I won at Caribbean
Little white
stud.
pepper.
I know a little bit about Caribbean. What's that?
A little bit of white pepper.
I'll ever tell you the story about when I was in
Keep
Las
stirring.
Vegas and I was trying to impress a girl. And I got all dressed up, went to play
Move over a little.
blackjack. So we're sitting at the counter. And I say, this is Vanteo or blackjack, and I go like that. And she says, oh, wow, what's that all about? There's something in here. And I said, well, instead of asking for a card, you just do that and they give you a card. I got it. So I turn it
It was
over
a
and
little
I say,
piece of cornstarch, by the way.
oh, is that what it was?
Now, people might say, what was that floating
Well,
around
it
in that
looks
sauce?
like one of your teeth, to be honest.
Yeah.
So anyway, I turn over the card and I say, oh, rats. She says, what's wrong? I said, I went over 21, so I lose. The dealer says, you had 21 when you asked for that card, sir. So if you're going to play 21, try and learn how to count to
I
21.
think you can stop stirring until it at least gets a little bubble to it.
That's not what you told me.
Well, wait, it has to warm up. We're going to be sitting there looking at that pan for 3 minutes now. Anyway,
Well,
these
whose
are the,
fault is that?
These are Norwegian. Okay.
Norwegian.
Yeah. There's white pepper in there. There's ground beef, ground veal.
Oh, a combination thereof.
Combination, and then you got the beef, some beef stock in there to kind of.
Consomme. You're heavy on consomme with all
Well,
this.
yeah, it's a consomme kind of day.
Okay.
And then there's egg.
Egg?
Yep.
Or 2 egg?
And some ground allspice again.
Oh, yeah. Consomme and allspice is what you're using. Oh, here it's starting to bubble.
Good. And I'll keep it moving now.
Yeah, I got it.
Now you're getting close.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm getting close to what?
Well, give it a good stir now.
Well, I'm doing the best I
I'll
can.
do this sooner or later.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're gonna add the cream.
A little more cream.
Yeah.
These are the Norwegians, right?
These are Norwegian.
Okay, we got the sweet and sour in
Sweet
the oven.
sour there. The Swede is cooking here. You know, I'm
Okay.
part Swede, you know.
Are you?
Yep, part Swedish.
Which part? Your hair, no
I
doubt.
never asked, but a little bit of English and a little bit of Swede, some German,
Do I look like I
a
care?
little bit of French.
All right. Listen, while Lee
Scott.
tells me about his background, of which I care nothing, we'll just clean this up and we'll come back in a minute or two and show you the real deal.
Lee's Leftovers, presented by Done Right Foods, the aristocrat of all chickens. You're watching Food Fair's Two Grumpy Guys in the Kitchen, brought to you in part by Food Fair. Expect the best from Food Fair.
Okay, you've done it again. I don't know how you do it, but you muck around with it, and out comes great stuff.
A lot of help.
A wine with the meatballs.
Yes, we're going to
You
do
suggest.
an American Pinot Noir.
From California?
For a Burgundy, actually. A Burgundian from California.
Okay.
And it's an excellent wine with a berry and a cherry.
All righty. Here's what the dishes look like when we have them done. First off, these are the sweet and sour meatballs on a bed of rice with a little decoration. And they were done in the oven, of course, in the big pot. Then we have, now those are the Norwegian, aren't they, with pasta, you suggest?
Yeah.
Or are those the Swedish?
Well, we got the Swede. The
Those are
Norwegian are in the
middle?
in the fondue.
Oh, okay.
With the little forks.
All right. So we're looking, the one in the middle is the Swedish. And yeah, that's an idea for serving sort of with fondue forks. Yeah. Fondue's coming back, I hear.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
People are starting to enjoy conversation again.
Okay, here are the recipes, and they're kind of a lot of them because we did 3 different dishes, so you're not likely to be able to write this down all at once. But of course, you can get your recipes printed out for you at any food fair store. And would you suggest doing all of these as a sort of variety some night?
It's a good variety. But you could try each one on a Saturday night with the kids would love the sweet and sour. I'll tell you that right now.
Is that right?
The Norwegian with the allspice flavor, actually for parties, super for just serving with cocktail picks and little nappies. And Swedish is a nice meal.
Okay.
And again, you can try it with a little bit of wine. I think you'll enjoy that.
So I think, Lee, what we've learned tonight is even the simplest dish, the humblest of dishes, can be an exquisite experience. Well, maybe we didn't learn that, but you learned how to make meatballs.
Wax eloquent, I might add.
well,
actually,
come on in and
I
I'll
was
wax
raised
off.
on this kind of food. That's why I enjoy it so much.
Well, you must have spent your whole life eating. Every time you give me a recipe, you say, I ate this out in the farm.
Well, no, back in Betacam. Hamburger was very plentiful. After the war, it was horse meat, but I would never touch that.
Yeah, I told you this story.
I don't want to hear about it.
You order a horse meat hamburger, you get to go. You get a hamburger that goes. Hey, cheers, love, warmth. See you again next time on Two Grumpy Guys in the Kitchen. Hope you enjoy these recipes. So long. Hey, cheers.
Oh, tally ho.
You didn't? Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
Doing.
Oh, well. It's a good wine.
Food Fair's Two Grumpy Guys in the Kitchen has been brought to you by Food Fair. Expect the best from Food Fair. And by Done Right Foods, the finest label for your table. The Grumpy Guys Kitchen, supplied by Gateway Kitchen and Bath Center, crafted precisely for you. Special thanks to the Bay Downtown for all appliances, utensils, place settings, and set decoration. Promotional consideration thanks to KY58, Good Time Oldies, Nighttime Sports. This has been a Grumpy Guys production.